80s had us, oh, we're going to put on this headset and just move this, choose music here. But I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I like a laptop in front of me or, a handheld device. I could see the apps. Otherwise, I just want to live in, reality, not enhanced reality or whatever they want to call it.
Yeah. No, I agree. I have had no interest in doing the whole VR thing.
Yeah, I'm not big on VR. I feel like it would make me sick. Like, it's a lot of motion. I'm not into that. But here's what I do think, okay? I told my wife this earlier this week. I said, mark my words, okay?
Hold on.
I think...
I'm going to write this down.
Mark the words here. So I think the VR is going to be a total flop. I do. Okay. But I think the technology is going to live on through our other devices. I guarantee you that within the next 5 years, you're going to see cell phones that you see right through, and you can interact with the apps with whatever's behind you.
Yeah, you should patent
like
that.
a hologram almost, like the early 80s hologram.
Yeah, it's going to be a translucent. It's going to just be the piece of glass, and you're going to be able to use this.
Yeah,
and that's going to be the phone.
I agree.
I'll bite on that front. That'll be cool.
I mean, I agree. I do feel like this is going to flop. I mean, the starting price is $3,500, so I don't feel like they're making it that expensive.
You can buy a used car for that much money.
I mean, the average person can't afford that or won't want to afford that.
Plus, don't you have the PlayStation VR, the Oculus Rift? I don't know any other VRs out there, but there are already products out there that have been trying this, and none of them have hit the mainstream yet. Then again, look at iPads. Everybody goes, oh, it's just a bigger iPhone. And yet, pretty much my mom is glued to her iPad.
I was going to say everybody else has
Everyone loves
basically
Apple.
made a tablet of their own.
Yeah, I mean, Apple's thinking if it's got our name on it, it'll do well.
Well, yeah, and people put up the payment plans, and they pay it off over time. So who knows? But the battery pack apparently only lasts 2 hours. So I think they're going to have to work on that.
Yeah, that would be a problem for me.
So from technology to nature, Nick, is your big story this week.
Yeah, so I like the weird stories. And this one was kind of interesting because scientists went into the waters of California and they looked at sharks. And what they found is this crazy stat. 97% of the sharks that they studied via drone were within 50 feet of people. At the same point, wait, this is the crazy part.
What?
They were observed up to 3 feet closer, up within 3 feet of people. Now, we think of shark attacks, right? Great whites. And by the way, these are juvenile great white sharks. Nathan, Alex, pop quiz. How many shark attacks were recorded during this study?
Oh, probably none.
Actually, zero. She's dead right.
Yeah.
There were 0 shark attacks, even though the sharks were within 50 feet of people and up in under 3 feet.
They just want to hug?
Well, people attack sharks more than sharks attack people.
Yeah, and the scientists did suggest that, okay, they weren't interested, but this can change as sharks figure out, oh, maybe these people will fish us, or then they could become predators. But at the same point, shark attacks are so rare, and that's why I love this story, is because we think of sharks as, oh my gosh, if you get in the water with them, panic. 90% of sharks, wouldn't.
Does that freak you out when you go into the water?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's their territory. So, I'm going to be honest. If I was out there swimming in the ocean and I saw a shark, I would get the heck out of there.
So what are they doing? Are they stalking us? I mean, why are they kind of lingering around?
They're just swimming around. They're just curious. They're like, who are these land creatures in our waters?
Yeah, and I mean, imagine you're walking down the street. Alex sees a shark. It turns into her house. She'll just grab the pump action shotgun and go, I'm scared of when I don't come into your territory. You don't come into mine.
It's not a DC comic, but, you do think of it in that perspective of if you saw a shark walking, you'd be like, what? But it's the same thing of us in their water. They're probably like, what is going on right now?
And I've seen sharks in water. In fact, I've been within a couple feet of 2 of them. One I was out surfing, another I was in Hawaii, and the guy goes, hey, anybody, come down with me. He goes, look in that cove. There's a nurse shark. She's fat. She's happy. Just don't go in there, and you're not going to have any problems with them. Sharks, most of the time, are just leave me alone, and I'll leave you alone. So just don't annoy them.
How would you react, Nathan?
I would cry, I would scream, and I would never go in again. The thing is I'm much more of a lake person than I am an ocean person.
If I'm going to go to the beach, I will get into the ocean, but I won't go very deep. I'll go maybe waist deep.
I'm like, no, thank you.
I'd rather be in a pool.
Man, you guys are lame. Like I'm jumping in the
you
water.
grew up out there. I mean, I get it. You know, you New Jersey folks, you have more to worry about than that.
You know, the one thing I fear though is going in a lake and actually getting like bit by a turtle. Like I don't care about sharks. Like sharks, yeah. No, but they're snapping turtles. Like, come on, Alex. Like,
yeah, it's not gonna take a chunk out of your leg though.
Yeah, but I don't want to lose a big toe. Like, I don't want to be.
I love my big toe. I mean, hey, if you're in New Jersey, if you survived the mafia, you could survive the sharks.
Hey, man, you know, sharks or the Jets, either one of them, you know.
Oh, yeah, the Jets don't kill you. You're good. You know, hey, let's talk now about my top story. So I wanted to talk about our Facebook poll question of the day. And the most rewatchable movies. It's National Movie Night Day. Movie night. Yeah. So, in National Movie Night. So, we talked about this morning a little bit, but the most rewatchable movies, period. And somebody had made a comment on our Facebook post. Before I get into like my favorite rewatchables, I want to talk about Christmas movies. Because I feel like they're the ultimate rewatchable, and it's almost Christmas in July. You know, what do you guys make? Like, if there's an all-time Christmas movie that's the most rewatchable, which one would you say?
I have top 3. Can I do top 3?
Sure.
Elf, of course, Home Alone, and Polar Express.
Polar Express, that one does not.
It's my husband's favorite Christmas movie, so therefore it is one of my favorite Christmas
Look
movies.
at you being a good wife.
Yeah.
It's good. I love it.
You know, other than Polar Express, I think she's 2 out of 3 with those. Mine's got to be Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Oh, yeah.
Just I feel like it's a classic, and you never get tired of it.
You could be Cousin Eddie.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, just yeah. Hey, you know, the pooper's full, right?
That's right, yeah.
Exactly. Trying to make sure that I keep it PG.
I could totally see you with like the turtleneck cut out underneath a V-neck sweater.
Just be like,
no comment,
hey,
right?
you gonna keep that chair? Oh man, that movie is just classic,
It's
and
so
that's
good.
the thing is, it's campy, it's fun, it's over. I feel like some of these movies, like we were seeing, are 2, 3, 4 hours long, and some of them are like 90 minutes, and it's like that's a perfect dump in, dump out of a movie as you please, and just enjoy it.
Yeah, one of the terrible Christmas movies that I just love to watch over and over and over again is Jingle All the Way with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sinbad.
Yes.
I don't know why, but I'm obsessed with that movie. I just adore it. And I think that's the feeling for a lot of like those rewatchable type of movies. You look at the 80s, the 90s, it's comfort food at its core. I mean, I think about like some in my list. You have Indiana Jones, Back to the Future. I mean, stuff that I grew up watching over and over and over. Wayne's World. I mean, there's so many good movies from when we were kids.
Yeah.
I mean, nostalgia is a drug. And Alex, your list was interesting.
Not really a list. Well, okay, so
Well, it was a one list.
yeah, I said the Twilight series.
Excuse me while I throw up.
Okay.
I'm very
Hear me
dramatic.
out. Okay.
You got, like,
everyone
30
has
seconds.
everyone has those movies that they think back to, like on being on summer break between like school and those summer nights, just watching movies, just hanging out, chilling. Whenever I watch those movies, it takes me back to that time. I'm not saying they're good movies. They were good when I first watched them, but now when I watch them, I'm like, okay, this
Are
is
you
so
saying you
cheesy.
developed taste? Is that what happened?
I guess so.
Now, did you have posters of the Twilight Boys on your
I
wall?
did not.
No, okay.
I've never had posters of anyone besides maybe the Spice Girls.
Oh, yeah. There
yeah.
you go. Now, I don't know. I've never watched the Twilight all the way through because just the clips alone make me want to, throw up. But you said your team, Jacob. I said Team Edward because I'm a Rod Pat
It's
fan.
toxic.
Did that change? Did that change? Like, were you like Team Edward at the, I don't know Twilight at all for whatever it's worth.
Maybe like when I was younger, I was more Team Edward just because that's kind of how the movies pushed you. But the older I got, the more I was like, nah.
I realize this conversation is making Nick and I look very old right now. And like a couple
What else?
But I also
doesn't.
love other movies like Pretty Woman. What were some of the other ones? I know Allie, like our production.
She had a power
She had
list.
a few of them that were really good. I can't even remember them right now.
Nick, you said Saving Private Ryan, which I feel like is a depressing rewatchable.
It's just, you know what? It's always on TV on some channel, and no
least
matter what part of the movie you just flip it on, it's just action in the background.
At least you didn't say Schindler's List.
Oh God, that would be awful. My other list is Shawshank, which is just. I feel like there are buckets of movies. There's like classic bad movies that bring us back, Twilight or Tommy Boy, and then there's like good classic movies that you're like, oh yeah, I should probably watch that one again.
Like Forrest Gump. Those movies where you catch it on the TV or you see it on streaming, you're like, oh yeah, I forgot about this one.
Or there's those classic comedies like Superbad or Step Brothers that will forever be funny.
Well, I think too, like when it comes to rewatchables, like for me, they're the movies I turn on before I go to sleep. Like it's like a Friday night, I'm burnt out.
You just want a movie you can fall asleep to.
Yeah, I don't want to think. That's why I'm not watching like Christopher Nolan movies before I go to bed. Or
I can't turn on a new movie.
Not...
I can't turn on a movie that I'm interested in watching, or I will not fall asleep. I'll watch the whole thing.
Yeah,
that's it. Because the only time I ever watch movies is like Saturday afternoon if there's nothing on and I just happen to catch one on TV. I mean, that's literally it. And I'm just one of those that I want to be sucked into a movie. And if it isn't pulling me in, I don't care to watch it. I'm not a comfort movie person. It's just, I like my Tommy Boy because of Holy Shnikes, and some would act like I act like partial Chris Farley, like just wild man.
Mm-hmm. Brothers don't shake hands. Brothers hug.
Brothers got a hug.
Dude, I love that. That's one of my wife's favorite movies. She loves Tommy Boy, and we watch every chance we get. Our rewatchables now, though, basically consist of kids' movies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I mean, I've watched the new Mario movie probably 30 times already. But I mean, there are worse movies.
I wonder if that's going to go down as Hudson's favorite movie in like 10 years, where it's like, I'm always going to rewatch that.
I think about that a lot is when we're watching stuff or absorbing pop culture as with my kids. I think to myself, okay, so what is going to stand out in their childhood? I think about Sonic, the new Sonic movies, new Mario movies. These are going to be the iconic things that they remember when they get old.
I love that.
I know. And now I'm just like thinking about.
Emotional.
I'm gonna start crying, but I think I'm gonna be okay. Anyways, we should probably carry on.
I have no emotions over here.
Soulless over here.
Do you guys have any alien movies that you love?
Independence Day, all day. That's a rewatchable for sure.
Absolutely. And speaking of UFOs, according to The Guardian, the U.S. has been urged to disclose evidence of UFOs because this comes after a whistleblower said the government has possession of intact and partially intact alien vehicles. So, former intelligence official David Grush led the analysis of unexplained anomalous phenomena within a U.S. Department of Defense agency. Mouthful, right? He allegedly claims that the U.S. has craft of non-human origin, and that information on these vehicles is being illegally withheld from Congress.
Excuse me while I put my tinfoil hat on here.
Okay, but I believe him. I really believe him. Do you believe?
Part of me does, part of me doesn't. Okay, I'm not sure. I mean, I feel like cultures throughout mankind's history have seen unexplained things.
Yeah. I mean, do you think he's just doing it for attention?
I feel like we would have seen something by now.
Do you know how many people...
But I feel like people have posted things and stuff and are like, well, I just saw this. What is this? And then you see it disappear and then no one ever talks about it.
Yeah, but that's because someone gives them a direct answer like, sir, that's a shopping cart. Like, you're watching a shopping cart.
You're watching a flaming shopping cart through the sky. Here's the interesting thing, though, is for years... and I hope not to trigger too many people here, but whatever that was. For years, there have been rumors to have been aliens stored at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base here in Dayton. That has been in the folklore for the longest time. They call it Hangar 18. It's funny because my brother's high school band, he called Hangar 18 and put a little alien on his shirt. But those rumors have been around for a long time here in Dayton. Project Blue Book included Dayton in the show. And then also the opening scene of Super 8, the movie by J.J. Abrams, has this like train coming through carrying this alien, and it's going to Dayton. And it crashes in a small rural Ohio area near the Indiana state border. So, those kind of things have always been hovering over the Dayton area. So I think deep down in my core, I do believe it a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, so he said that he turned over classified information about the vehicles to Congress, and he said he suffered retaliation from the government. But he didn't explain why. And I will say that in the interview, he did mention he hasn't personally seen this. He just interviewed other people who work within the defense.
See, that's where it kind of gets a little weird for me.
Yeah.
But I mean, he left the government after 14 years
Well, the government.
And a current U.S. intelligence official did say that confirmed the existence of exotic materials. So.
I will say the government has a little bit been more open about discussing this of late. I know there have been congressional hearings on unidentified flying objects or aerial phenomena.
I just feel like if it wasn't a real thing, we wouldn't even be having a conversation about it.
I don't know, because there was a book, so this is going back 20, 30 years ago. It was guy Lee Corso said, I literally took parts out of an alien aircraft and made X, Y, and Z, which ended up becoming superconductors and things like that. And you look at it, and yeah, some facts didn't line up and other things, but these are the type of rumors that have been going around for 30, 40 years. I'm not saying that I don't buy them. I'm just saying that I'm a little bit more skeptical. I think there are probably some sort of forms of life. I'm just not sure that they have visited Earth yet or that they're intelligent.
Smart to avoid us.
Well, and I think somebody posed the question well on Twitter when I was reading about this. They said, well, the two questions about this are equally terrifying. Either there's other creatures out there and we're not alone, or we are alone. In some ways, both those things are unsettling in their own way.
Well, judging, by where I'm okay with being alone. Like, just keep ET away from me. Like, I'm good with that.
No.
I mean, it would be cool to find out that there are other livable planets out there, though, because if Earth one day comes crashing down,
I guess.
Well, yeah, road trip, right? Everybody into the camper van.
Didn't you watch Don't Look Up, that video about the, asteroid crashing into Earth? And then the very last, well, spoiler alert, the very last scene has them going to a planet and getting eaten by the aliens. So, I mean...
I didn't finish that movie, but that's actually...
Oh, there you go. I just told you the end. You're welcome. It's been out long enough. I can spoil it if I want to. All right, Nick, so what do we got for our other talker here?
So I was actually reading the story out of California where there's a herd of goats that are actually designed to go to spots and eat vegetation. And what they're there for is to prevent wildfires. And this got me down the loop of looking up other animals. In Spain, they use bison. And actually, nature's greatest one is the humble beaver. Because if you think about it, they trap the water and move it around. It irrigates everything, keeps things wet. And also where they build their dams and everything, it can provide a natural fire break. So really interesting stuff where now we're going old school, where it's like, oh, no planes. No, we're just going to get some goats, those evil-eyed little guys.
Yeah, I do have a problem with goats.
I knew that.
I know.
Nathan,
I just think they have the soul of Satan, but that's okay. They're still cute. I mean, look into their eyes sometime.
I told you I would trigger him, Alex.
We don't need to go down my rabbit hole of me thinking goats are weird, but that is kind of fascinating, especially, I do have beavers near my house down by the Stillwater River.
You have a zoo behind your house.
I know. There's a lot of wildlife in my neighborhood, but they're always building dams, and you can actually go down by the river and see the trees where they're starting to chew away at the different trees. Cool. But I can see how that's helpful. And then also, they use goats for mowing grass and stuff in different places. I mean, that's a good idea.
Yeah, people always make the joke that they're going to get a goat for their yard.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what? The golf courses use them, and you think about it, they're in lawnmowers. They're not that much upkeep, and anything that they do upkeep is literally how do you transport them? One thing that I loved in the article was they asked people not to pet the goats and that the fences are electrified. And, don't pet the dogs because the dogs are not friendly either. They're protecting their flock.
You know what? I think I just came up with a great idea.
Oh, no.
You guys hear me out here, okay?
All right.
So I think we can solve a lot of problems at once. First off, we can solve the evil goat problem. And second off, we can solve a wildfire problem. We can export all of our evil goats to Canada right now to stop the wildfires up there.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous.
I don't know if that'll work, but we could give it a go. And I mean, you're right.
Give it a goat?
You say that, and then we're gonna get
maybe the goat idea.
Wildfires here, Nathan. And then guess what? We don't have any goats.
Oh man, you're right. We need we have bison.
We have other animals, sheep.
There we go. Yeah.
Just get rid of those goats. I mean, you think about it, just animals that can eat grass. And frankly, my dog could probably mow down the field the way she eats grass.
Yeah, my dog's not much of a grass eater.
Mine isn't either.
Oh, well, lucky you two. I get to watch that. I'm like, Valkyrie, I feed you every day, and you're eating grass.
And chewing up the yard.
Yeah.
Back here at home in the Miami Valley, I want to talk about my next story here, and that is Kings Island is opening up the new Adventure Port, which is really exciting. They've had their Adventure Express ride for many years, but that area has kind of been not as fun as some other areas of the park. So they added a bunch of new rides over there and opening it up. So are you guys big roller coaster people?
I mean, I wouldn't say I'm like a diehard, roller coaster
Aficionado. Yeah.
but I do enjoy going to Kings Island and going on the different rides. I definitely enjoy roller coasters.
I think the last time I went was when I graduated high school. I went there, and I'm pretty sure that we went when the park was empty, and I threw up. So I'm gonna go with no.
Hard pass on that one.
The only ride I refuse to ride is Drop Zone.
Oh, that was kind of fun.
Why is that? Is that like just a straight? Like I'm not
like they like lift you up, and then they just free fall.
Like I don't know. Like my favorite rides are like roller coasters where they get to the tippy top and you can oversee everything, and you hear that, and then you're like,
uh-oh, we're in trouble.
Yeah, exactly. But like those type of rides, I'm like, those aren't fun. Those are just like, okay, and G simulator straight down.
Yeah, I'm good. Here's the thing is, like, I'm not going to lie, rides in general just hit different in your 30s than they did when you're a teenager. Like there's a lot of ones that I would ride when I was a kid. I'm like, this is sweet. And then now I'm like, my back is sore. And I will tell you what, I cannot do the ones that spin. Oh my gosh, I feel like I'm a yak.
So you won't be able to go on the new ride at the Adventure Port.
Probably not. That's a hard pass. So, like I did some like small mini spinny rides with my son at the county fair. And afterwards, I got off. I told my wife, I said, I can't do that. I said, I'm going to puke everywhere.
Now, is that the one with the unicorns, or is that the one?
Whatever. I don't know, dude. They just put me on this thing, and I'm sitting in this tiny little thing next to my son. He's like, yay, Dad. And I'm like spinning around. And I'm like, oh, boy, this is not good. I said, are you doing all right? He's like, yeah, I'm having fun. Whee! And I'm like, I'm not. This is not fun.
Does Megan enjoy roller coasters?
No. But you know what's really funny is... So a couple years back, we went to Kings Island's Haunt Fest, and she likes the scary stuff. I hate the haunted houses. And I like the rides, and she hates the rides. So we went on this roller coaster, and I have never heard these noises come out of her before. She screamed so loud. And she's a very mild, chill person.
Yeah.
And she does not get worked up very often. It was hilarious. I still laugh at her about that.
That's
but it's great.
I love that.
So, yeah, go check it out. They just open up tomorrow, the Adventure Port, so it should be a good time. Make sure you get your blue ice cream while you're out there at
my
Kings
favorite
Island.
part of Kings Island.
I'm not sure blue ice cream and rides go hand in hand.
Maybe after.
It does.
Yeah.
I can attest. It does.
On the way to the parking lot out of there.
You can't go to Kings Island without getting blue ice cream.
Just don't get the chili dog before you hop on.
Ugh.
Yeah.
That's
maybe anything more.
That'll do it.
That's the key. All right, we want to pivot now to love-hate. Alex, what is your love of the week?
My love of the week is happening today. We're going to go see the new Little Mermaid.
Nice.
And then go to Italian Fest afterwards in Cincinnati. So it's going to be a good day.
Little Mermaid. So
I'm
you said you
very
watched
excited.
the old one last night?
Yes, we watched it last night, and it's just crazy to see it. I mean, I haven't seen it in a very long time, so it was crazy to see it. But we wanted to see it before we went to watch the new one.
Speaking of rewatchable films, The Little Mermaid there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, did you feel differently about the movie now as an adult than when you were a kid?
Not really. Like, my husband and I were talking about that. We were like, it's really ahead of its time. Like, it came out, I believe, in 1989.
Yeah.
And it was such a good movie. And even watching it now, I don't feel like it was bad by any means. Like, it was actually very impressive. Like, thinking back to the fact that it came out that far.
Yeah, that was really before Disney started really hitting its stride in the 90s with all the other big hits that they had.
And we love to look for Easter eggs in movies and all the Disney movies because if you didn't know this, there's Easter eggs in pretty much every single Disney movie. Mm-hmm. And apparently in this one of the scenes, Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse are in it. It's in the very beginning of the movie.
Really?
It's like, I think it's the concert scene.
There's also a theory that the crashed boat in the water is actually the boat from Anna and Elsa's parents that they died on in Frozen. So just throwing that out there for your observations. Anyways, take it you haven't watched Little Mermaid lately, Nick?
I think I was 4 the last time I did, maybe
fair.
5.
Yeah, 30 years.
That's fair.
Yeah, exactly.
My hate for the week, seeing how intense the Canadian wildfires are getting and just the fact that it's impacting even us here. Mm-hmm. Obviously the air quality has not been great. You have concerns about people who do have health issues and whatnot. So hopefully if you do have health issues, stay in this weekend.
Dude, New York, those pictures like post-apocalyptic.
Yeah, it looked insane.
Yeah.
And then obviously concerned for Canadians who are anywhere near that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I mean, it's concerning, and I did not like the haze, but I'm glad skies here at least have cleared up a little bit.
Yeah.
So.
And I was reading somewhere that the air quality in parts of the United States was the worst in the world. And that includes, China, Tokyo, places where it literally is always smoggy. Ours was worse because of the fires. I mean, that's crazy. That's intense.
Yeah, certainly intense. Nick, your love hate?
So love, I'm going to go with an app called FlightAware, and I'm sure everybody's heard of it by now. If you haven't, really cool app because you could track flights. And the reason why I got into this app is I live on the runway to the Wright Brothers Airport. So I was sitting there and I'm going, I wonder where that plane is going. And it got me to looking around and watching the planes. And now I can real time look at where the planes are that are flying overhead. And for me, it was just kind of relaxing to basically transport myself up to 30,000 feet. Imagine what a person flying from, let's say, LA to Boston would be seeing as they look down on Ohio. I'm guessing they'd be going, hey, look, there's farmland, more farmland, more farmland.
That's far more educated than my version of plane watching, which is
I would be imagining myself flying away somewhere tropical.
We're on the trampoline, and my 2-year-old Owen goes, pain, 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 and points to the skies. And I go, pain, pain, and it's good old time.
Hey, yeah. I mean, it's just one of those things that I don't know why, but that brought a smile to my face sitting in the backyard.
That's cool.
Yeah, and my hate of the week is probably something a little bit personal. So I've realized I hate when I just don't know what to say. When you get in that awkward situation where you're like, I want to say something, but I can't. And part of the reason is, going back to Fort Wayne, I still have people reaching out to me all the time. By the way, if you're watching this, thank you. But honestly, there's some times where it's like, there's so much I want to say about my time there or somewhere else, but I always feel like I'm letting people down if I don't say something. So a lot of times it's really tough for me to be like quiet. And that's why I hate that feeling of, what do I say? How do I say it? And by the time I think of something to say, it's already passed.
It's a good thing I'm Dr. Phil, and I can help you out here, Nick.
Oh, well, help, please.
No.
Yeah, you two are looking at me like, oh, this poor guy's going through it. And I'm like, no. It's just, like when those thoughts you have, you're like, man, I really get sick of that feeling. And there's no real good way to handle it other than just sometimes, hey, got to be quiet and think through it.
Yeah. I'm always that way, too. I just got to think before I spew because I love to talk.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, Alex.
Before you talk.
Yeah. All right. My love of the week, and this is great. Kellis's milkshakes bringing Bill Murray to the yard because the 72-year-old Bill Murray is dating the milkshake singer Kellis. My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard. Darn right. It's better than yours. And she's 43. There's quite the age gap there, 29 years. Yeah.
Love is love.
Love is love, yes.
Unless it is a minor. Then that's not good.
No, Jesus.
Wow, that got
I have
dark.
to throw that out there so people don't take it
Okay,
the wrong way.
That's the podcast off the dark portion of this one.
So, the thing, though, is we've been seeing all these old dudes, man. And they're young. I mean,
Al Pacino just had a kid, right?
Well, he impregnated a 29-year-old at 82.
That's his girlfriend.
His girlfriend, their girlfriend. And then Bob De Niro is having another kid. He's in his or close to his 80s.
Yep.
He might be 79. And then now Bill Murray going young. Yeah.
Yeah, and she's gorgeous.
Wow, there are no.
I know you're Team Murray. I'm Team.
Can I point out that all these old celebrities are taking away women from me? I don't like it, but no, I do like Bill Murray, so he's a classic person.
I'll make my hate real short. Also, the haze, I did not dig that at all. Final thoughts here, real quick.
It's been fun here. I love you too, and I love working here, and it's nice to be invited to podcast, and hopefully you'll invite me again. Although, judging about this one, we'll see how it goes.
Hey, you behaved today.
Yeah, you were good. My final thought, it's National Movie Night, so I hope if you have some time today, you find some time today to watch one of your favorites or maybe a new one that you've been dying to see.
Yes, and speaking of dying to see, my final thoughts, tons of great movies, as Alex mentioned. I'm excited for Oppenheimer.
Oh,
that one's coming out very soon. So thank you so much for joining us on Your Day Extra. As always, we appreciate you. This is Alex, Nick, and of course, I'm Nathan from the Your Day Morning Show. Make sure you tune in every morning throughout the week from 5 to 9. And of course, it's been a Ding 24/7 Now production. Make sure you like and subscribe, and we'll see you back here next Friday. make sure everybody has a great week.